Hello everyone, welcome once again. In the last session, we talked about how to create a project charter, and we talked about the 6 key elements of a project charter, wherein we talked about problem statement, business case, goal statement, its scope, key milestones, and the project team. And we talked a bit about the problem statement, what a problem statement should have, what it should not have. From the should have part of it, we talked about the facts, figures, numbers, timeline. We also talked about that the problem statement should not have the root causes, or you should not write the problem statement in a way that it focuses on the root causes aspect of it. So that's what problem statement should not have. If you look into the slide, it says there are certain traps that we talk about it. It should not attempt to identify the root cause, as we just discussed. It should not define the scope too narrowly or too broadly. For example, if you say, let's say we are talking about the problem in a process, and we say in the entire organization this process there are a lot of complaints, there has been a lot of dissatisfaction, and there are a lot of been wrong feedback. So when we speak like this, when we try to put a problem into a wide perspective, it actually creates confusion, and it becomes difficult for us to create a boundary for that process. When we do not know how to capture the essence of the problem, so we need to be very specific about what we plan to solve. Now, I am not saying that you should leave other aspects of the organization. What you should do, you should always focus at one area, improve it, then move to the next area and improve it, and keep on doing it. So this method is called continuous improvement, so that you try to focus at one problem at one time and keep the scope narrow down here. So do not define the scope too narrow or too broad. Similarly, you should not make assumption that cannot be supported with data, which we said in the beginning. It should have facts and figures and not use words like very few, a lot, too much, and so on. And should focus on things that will not improve customer satisfaction or add value. For example, we talk about the policy issues, the laws, the natural aspects, or the environment issues. If we are writing these things in the problem statement, definitely, first of all, they're out of control. Second is, you cannot change them at the end of the project. So these things are not going to make sense. So try to abstain using these things, writing about these things as much as in the project charter. And very important thing, your problem statement should not suggest a solution. The moment we write the word like automation, documentation, standardization, or any solution, if you are writing, if you are saying that because if you put together a team here that can help us solve this problem, it would be a great thing. Now, the moment I say this, that means I'm saying there is a solution ready. Now, if you know the solutions already, you do not need this entire activity of making a charter and putting up a team and so on. So why to waste that time in doing all of it? Know a solution, just do it. Just implement the solutions. Don't have to go further into it. For example, if you see on the screen, you will see two type of example of problem statement. One is a very poor example, one is a better one. The poor example is we are losing customers because of slow loan processing. Now that's how typically customer comes to you. But would you put it like that in order to solve it? No, you want to provide some more details, which would be, for example, a better problem statement would be a customer requires a 10-day turnaround time for loans. In 2003, 30% of the customers that were approved exceeded the 10-day turnaround time. Do you see, it's a much better problem statement. We have timeline, we have some data, and we're giving the context also. Now, this is about the problem statement. One thing that we must remember about problem statement is problem statement should not contain the blame or a complaint, or should not look as if we are cribbing. Similarly, we should not name anyone in a problem statement. That is not a good practice, because remember this entire Lean Six Sigma activity, we are trying to improve a process. So Lean Six Sigma focus on improving the process. It is not about improving the people there. Why to name people? When you improve the process, you focus on the process and the data, not the people here directly. If you say the HR department is not working properly, or the sales department is not working properly, or the people in finance department are not very well aware of the process. So when we speak like that, we are cribbing, we are putting blame for something not happening right on a team particularly, which is not the right practice to do it. It is unethical. So we should definitely avoid it. Now, when we have talked about the problem statement, so we understand there is a problem. That's what the problem statement is telling us. but how big is the problem? Should we solve it? Why should we solve it? What is the urgency? What is the need for it? That's where the business case comes in. So the slide that you see on the screen talks about the business case. The business case of in a project charter will say, it talks about certain questions that, does this project align with the strategy objective? Very important. The problem that we are solving, is it really relevant for the business? What is the focus for the project team? What impacts will this project have on the other business unit and employees? The impact of this particular project. That's what we said. What is the need for doing this project? What is the business impact? That's what we capture here. How will this impact our risk response and our ability to respond? What benefits will be derived from this business? Which means, will the business gain any money out of it? Will this be profitable in terms of money for the organization? Why is the project worth doing? The urgency. Why should we invest our resources, our time and effort into doing this project? That's the business urgency. We need to answer it. Why is it important to do it now? Now that's very important. Why we are saying we should do it now? What if we leave the problem as it is? What will happen? That's the answer we need to have right now. And what are the consequences of not doing this project? What if we don't do this at all? Will we suffer? How will we suffer? So these questions should be answered well when we write in a project business case, because business case is reviewed by the business sponsor, the senior leadership, and they need to have these validation in front of them. We can't be fumbling in front of them when we cannot say we don't have an answer. Why do you need to give me money, resources and time to work on this project? Operations in every organization is the prime thing to happen. When Six Sigma activities happen, Six Sigma is a support function. Operations always takes the front seat and Six Sigma takes the back seat, as the operations is the core that gives you money, that gives you the business. Well, Six Sigma is only helping you to improve that business. Though even if you are in 21st century, but still understanding the need and importance of doing a Six Sigma project still needs to be realized upon. People still need to understand. So when you have only 5 minutes with the senior leadership team, which is busy in bringing the business, busy in operations, we have to be very specific, crisp and clear. That's what business case is going to focus upon. So the way we talked about the problem statement, similarly we should have the great detail about the business case also, should have the numbers, should have facts and figure, timeline, duration, context, no blame, no cribbing complaint, no solutions and no root causes either. So Six Sigma basically will be followed only when we do not have a root cause in sight, when we do not have a solution in sight. That's when we use Lean Six Sigma methodology. Otherwise we could have simply solved a problem as it is. We would have implemented a solutions. When we do not know anything, we do not know what to do, that's when we go through this entire pain of making a charter, writing a problem statement, putting together a business case. So that's about the problem statement and the business case of it. Now the next thing that comes in is the goal of this entire activity. Why are we having a project charter? What is the goal of doing it? So the goal, of course, should be a SMART goal, that we are all aware of the SMART methodology. The specific, measurable, attainable, time bound and the realistic one. That's the SMART methodology tells us. So here we are not getting into too many details of it, but the goal simply should be, how much do you want to improve? We cannot say that we want to improve our customer happiness index, or we want to reduce the turnaround time, improve the quality. We do not speak like that. We say, what is the current process turnaround time? How much time we take right now to do a job? If we are taking 10 days and we want to reduce it to 5 days, so we'll say we want to reduce turnaround time from 10 days to 5 days. We are looking at 50% reduction. And when do you want it? Another 6 months. So if today is 1st January 2021, you want to improve this entire process by 30th of June. So you have to have a timeline and you have to have a number in mind. That's from the goal point of view. So it should be a SMART goal: specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and the time bound. In the part 3 of this project charter that we are working, we look at other aspects of the project charter, like what should be the scope, how to build a project team, how to assign roles and responsibilities, what are the key milestones, what are the key deliverables that a project charter should contain. These all things will cover into the part 3 of the project charter. That's it from the part 2. Thank you everyone. This is Shivendra Sharma here.